Hi guys, Matt the Who Editor here. Okay, you're probably wondering why you're looking at a screenshot of my logo instead of the usual visual camera shot. Okay, the reason is over the last couple of months my film camera has been going through some quality problems. The focus is slightly bad, the audio is muddled up, and the footage flickers black or green. Flashes for some reason, I still don't know why. It could be the rendering, or maybe it's just, I don't know, there might be something wrong with the program, I don't know. Especially when I export it from Premiere. So I thought instead of having to render a 30-minute video, I'd do an audio video instead. For these videos, each one has a screenshot representing what each video is all about, like an announcement or a news update, a figure adventure poster, etc. The image you see here is a screenshot of the series Class, which has recently finished on BBC iPlayer. That's because I'm going to do a short mini-series of reviews for each episode of Series 1. For those of you who have been following me on Twitter, you might have an idea of what I thought about each episode. But to help write this review, I'm going to be re-watching every episode whilst writing each review to help with my points of view, and possibly might change my point of view on each episode. So some scores might change, or maybe some characters I have had a grudge against might slightly change. I don't know, we'll see what happens. So, without further ado, let's start off this series with their introduction episode for Tonight We Might Die. Now, I have to be honest, from the very start, I wasn't the least interested in this spin-off. I wasn't interested by the title, the location, the cast, not even the teaser, which featured Capote's narration. But since it was apparently going to be released online rather than on television, I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. And in my opinion, I think it was a decent, well-done introduction to the series. So what's the synopsis? Deadly monsters are invading Coral Hill School through cracks in time. It just cannot go away, can it? 4 alienated students form an unlikely alliance to defeat them. Sounds pretty familiar, don't you think? I don't know. But what actually made this story stand out was its characters. First off, Quill, played by Catherine Kelly, who in my opinion gives a great performance. Quill, in her opinion, is this freedom fighter for the Quill, then made into Charlie's slave by putting some sort of creature in her eye to control her. Because of this, she cannot use a gun. She plays a sort of darker female version of the Doctor. A majority of the time, she makes me laugh. Seriously, she makes me laugh, and she is so much fun to watch. The only problem is the majority of the series she keeps complaining about being a slave, which does get irritating after a while. But overall, she is a good character. But at the time I watched the first episode, she wasn't really that interesting. I mean, she's still good. She's still an interesting character. She's all mysterious and all that. But at the time, I wasn't thinking she was like, you know, the favourite character of the episode. I guess I had to wait and see how the rest of the series goes. Maybe she can impress me more. Ram is the best character in the episode. He really sells the series opener. He starts off as this sort of rebel Joker boy, sort of like Clyde Langer-ish, kind of, but a bit more, you know, hip, that sort of thing. I don't know. It's really interesting seeing how his character progresses in this episode. The actor who played him, what's his name? Fade? Sorry if I got it wrong. But anyway, the actor who plays him is really amazing. I really enjoyed watching him in this episode. I actually enjoyed the scenes where he talks to Tanya through Skype. That pretty much shows that, you know, he's not the generic jock / troublesome character, you know, who becomes good after the first battle. He's actually a normal, regular, relatable guy. Now, this is a really important plot element that happens to him in this episode, and it's filled with spoilers, and I don't want to give anything away because those who are probably watching my videos have either seen or not seen Class. So for those of you who have seen Class, you know what I'm talking about, and those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I won't give anything away, but let's just say what happened in this episode really scared the crap out of me. I did not see that coming. That totally screamed Torchwood in my brain. And what happens to Ram after that is very, very emotional, and it gives us an idea of exactly his story arc in the series, and you know how he's going to progress, how is he going to go, you know, respect Ram, respect Ram. I wasn't quite sure about Tanya at the time, but as this episode in the series went on, I actually began to, relate to her. She's like a sort of outcast of some sort. She wants to be accepted, but does not wish to make an effort to go. Plus, she is raised into a strict, upright mother or family. I don't know what her rest of the family is like, but what I did like about Tanya is definitely her relationship with Ram through Skype. From the first time they speak through FaceTime, I couldn't help thinking of Clyde and Rodney and was expecting a sort of relationship. In my opinion, they actually make a good duo. I'm serious. I have seen this series and I know what happens, but seriously, watch this episode and you can tell that these two actually make a pretty good team. So what do I think about the main character, Charlie? Well, to be honest, from the very start, he's pretty much the least interesting character of the episode at the time. It's not the actor's fault. Greg Austin, he's a pretty good actor, but I didn't quite get into the character. Okay, he's an alien prince in a human disguise. Actually, let's talk about that. If he's from another planet, then why are they all school students? I know it's the human disguises, and I know this is supposed to be set in a high school, but even that is ridiculous. An alien race of school students. Why? That's just pretty ridiculous in my opinion. There's pretty much nothing much to say about him in this episode. Well, there is one thing. I think it's a good idea to have your main character be homosexual. Benny from Wizards vs. Aliens turned out to be gay in probably what I like to say is the best series finale, and I didn't mind. Actually, come to think of it, Captain Jack Harkness and Yonto Jones were gay characters, so I was okay with Charlie being a gay guy, I have to admit. When he said that he was gay from Martyrs and they showed a little flashback, I don't know why. I just giggled. I thought, okay, that's a nice little touch. That's nice. That's very nice. Okay. Hopefully he'll become more interesting as the season progresses. Right. What about April? Well, in this episode, I actually kind of related to her as well as Tanya. I understand where she's coming from. She's quirky, she's done a bit of research, she's pretty much, the typical good student to keep things perfect for her first job as party organizer. At least that's what I thought at the time. Anyway, so she's preparing this prom night when she is then attacked by the Shadow King and has half of her heart in his. Why? I still don't know. I still don't know. But unfortunately, that becomes a main problem in the series. I won't explain why, but you'll just have to wait until I start talking about the rest of the series. So that's the main cast out of the way. Now, let's talk about these two characters that are either good or bad in this episode. First off, the Shadow King. I know he's got a name. I can't really remember his name. I can't even say it right. I don't know. So I'm just going to call him the Shadow King. First off, I love the design. I'm guessing they got the inspiration from the Pyrovillias in Fires of Pompeii. Even the homeworld looks entirely like Pyrovillia. Seriously, actually, come to think of it, when I saw the poster, I was thinking to myself, oh my god, we're getting the Pyroviles back. Oh my god, this might be good, because it's a throwback to the, David Tennant and the Doctor Who series and all that. That's pretty much what Sarah Jane and Torchwood usually does. They bring a character back. The Pyrovillias in class, that might be good. Unfortunately, they're not the Pyrovillias, they're called the Shadow King for some reason. Okay, after watching this episode, I couldn't help but think that these characters were pretty much the Pyroviles meets Fashion and Rada. They're basically the recurring villain of the series. Seriously, when the episode ended, I actually said Necros. If you watch Wizards vs. Aliens, you understand what I mean. Oh my god, what they do in this episode is basically just fly in shadows and kill people. That's pretty much what they do. And when they kill people, it is graphic, brutal, shit goes high. Oh my god. The only problem with these characters is their motivation. What exactly is their plan? Okay, so they kill Charlie's species, they kill the prince, and then what? Seriously, what do they do? All they did in the episode was just walk about and kill people. And then when they meet the team, they just stand there and they talk. Maybe they really didn't think this through. Plus, their defeat is pretty weak in this episode. Which, of course, leads into probably what everyone's been talking about in this episode. Peter Capaldi as the Doctor. Of course, Peter Capaldi, he gives a great performance. He brings the humour, he brings the drama, even the suspense. He's so fun to watch. He just makes me smile when I see him and when I listen to him speak. The only problem is, we don't really need him that much. Actually, come to think of it, we don't actually need him in this episode. You can just cut him out of the episode and it wouldn't make a difference. Sorry, Peter. I'm just saying sorry. I mean, I know that what the Doctor does is walk and talk, but the Doctor does more than just walk and talk. Even when he saves the day in this episode, well, kind of, basically uses his sonic screwdriver to seal the cracks. That really brings the Doctor to a new low. David Tennant crashed a wedding to save Sarah Jane by travelling through different zones. Matt Smith uses a body swap teleporter to fight against the Stan Sheaf. All Peter Capaldi does is use his sonic screwdriver to solve every problem. And that's just what I call cheating. Or, as UDWF1 puts it, Sonic Ex Machina. Well, that and form the team together. What I did like was the shot of the TARDIS materialising off screen, and then you show the TARDIS, but you don't actually show the Doctor. You could have taken Peter Capaldi out of the episode, keep the shot of the TARDIS, and it wouldn't make a difference. Actually, it would have been so much better that actually happened, where we hear the TARDIS, but we don't actually see the TARDIS. You know, it would have made more impact in this episode. Actually, come to think of it, the Doctor didn't appear in Torchwood. We hear the TARDIS, but we don't actually see him. That actually works well. I'm going to talk about the visual effects. The sci-fi effects are good. There's an effect which completely rips off Sherlock. Ram's leg looks pretty fake. It's more like someone's shining a flashlight on his leg for some reason. The music is pretty good. What about the opening titles? Okay, well, I'm basically going to just talk about this when I first saw it. Okay, so I do like the graphics. It's well colourful. It's pretty effective as I'd expect. But I wasn't a fan of the theme tune. Sorry, I know there's some people who love the theme tune because it's modern Who, and I'm sorry. I didn't like it at the time. I just didn't think it fitted into a sci-fi adventure series about school kids fighting monsters. I'm not saying every sci-fi series has to have the same, sort of theme tune, but I just didn't think that the song fitted into the series much. To be honest, I'm not a fan of that type of rock band music. I'm sorry, it just didn't fit me. As the series went on, I guess I got to like it a little bit. Not entirely, just a little bit. Now for the Doctor Who referencing. Of course, Core Hill is the setting. The Doctor and the TARDIS arrives, as well as two well-known Doctor theme tunes. And there's even a small reference to the classic and recent series, which gives us a good reminder that this is the same universe as Doctor Who. Okay, in conclusion, Tonight We Might Die is a good episode and a good introduction to the series. The characters are good, the story was good, the humour works when it works, the concept is good, but the villain's motivation is questionable and the Doctor's cameo is, well, I'm sorry, completely pointless. Patrick Ness has really done a pretty great job in creating this series. I can't wait to hear more stories from him in a new series, or maybe Doctor Who, if he's lucky. Seriously, he should write one of the episodes. So obviously, first time I watched it, I was intrigued and wanted to see more, and rewatching it now made me even more excited. So on the whole, Tonight We Might Die has good characters, a terrifying feeling, cool effects, and a good cameo, so therefore, I'm giving this episode an 8 out of 10. Be sure to leave a comment below, like and share this video, and if you've seen the episode, what did you think about it? And if you'd like to see more of my videos, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Let's ride.